The first time I saw her, I thought I was hallucinating. It was a quiet night on the outskirts of the Nevada desert, where I had set up my telescope to capture the Perseid meteor shower. The stars were unusually bright, and the air was crisp, carrying the faint scent of sagebrush. I was alone, as usual, chasing the solitude that came with being an amateur astronomer. But then she appeared. At first, it was just a flicker of light in the corner of my eye. I turned, expecting to see a stray meteor, but instead I saw her. She was tall, almost 7 feet, with skin that shimmered like liquid silver under the moonlight. Her hair, if you could call it that, was a cascade of glowing filaments that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Her eyes were the most striking feature, large, almond-shaped, and a deep, iridescent violet that seemed to hold entire galaxies within them. I froze, my mind racing to make sense of what I was seeing. Was this some kind of elaborate prank? A government experiment gone wrong? Or had I finally lost my mind? Before I could decide, she spoke. "Greetings, human," she said, her voice a melodic hum that resonated in my chest. "I am Zynara of the Celestial Accord. I have traveled far to meet you." "Me?" I croaked, my voice barely above a whisper. "Why me?" She tilted her head, her glowing filaments swaying gently. "Because you're the one who looks to the stars not with fear, but with wonder. You're the one who seeks to understand, not to conquer. And for that, you have been chosen." "Chosen for what?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. She stepped closer, her movements graceful and fluid, like a dancer gliding across a stage. "To join me," she said simply. "To leave this world behind and explore the cosmos as my companion. To see wonders beyond your imagination and to share in the knowledge of 1,000 civilizations." I stared at her, my mind reeling. This had to be a dream. Or maybe I had accidentally ingested some hallucinogenic plant while setting up my telescope. But as I pinched myself and felt the sharp sting of pain, I realized this was all too real. "Why would you want me?" I asked, my voice trembling. "I'm just a nobody. A guy who spends his nights staring at the stars and his days working a dead-end job. I'm not special." Zynara smiled, and it was like watching the sunrise for the first time. "You underestimate yourself, human. Your curiosity, your resilience, your capacity for wonder. These are rare qualities in the universe, and they are qualities I value greatly." I didn't know what to say. My mind was a whirlwind of emotions: fear, excitement, disbelief. But beneath it all, there was a spark of something else: hope. "Will I ever be able to come back?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Zynara's expression softened. "The choice will always be yours. But I must warn you, once you see what lies beyond the stars, you may not wish to return." I looked up at the night sky, at the countless stars that had always felt just out of reach. And for the first time in my life, I felt like they were calling to me. "Okay," I said, my voice steady now. "I'll go with you." Zynara's smile widened, and she extended a hand. As I reached out to take it, I felt a surge of energy course through my body, and the world around me dissolved into light. The journey was unlike anything I could have imagined. Zynara's ship, the Ethereal Dawn, was a marvel of technology and artistry. Its walls seemed to breathe, pulsing with a soft, golden light, and the air was filled with the faint scent of something sweet and unfamiliar. The ship was alive, in a way, and it welcomed me as if I had always belonged. Over the next few weeks, Zynara showed me wonders that defied description. We visited planets with skies of liquid gold, where the inhabitants communicated through song. We walked through cities that floated among the clouds, their spires reaching toward the stars. We even witnessed the birth of a new star, its fiery light illuminating the darkness of space. But it wasn't just the sights that captivated me. It was Zynara herself. She was kind and patient, answering my endless questions with a grace that made me feel like I was the most important person in the universe. She taught me about the history of the Celestial Accord, a coalition of civilizations dedicated to peace and exploration. She showed me how to navigate the stars using the ship's quantum drive, and she even let me try my hand at piloting the ethereal dawn. As the days turned into weeks, I found myself growing closer to her. There was a connection between us, something deep and unspoken that went beyond words. And then, one day, she surprised me once again. We were standing on the observation deck, watching a nebula swirl in shades of blue and purple, when she turned to me and said, "There is something I must ask you." I looked at her, my heart skipping a beat. "What is it?" She took a deep breath, her violet eyes searching mine. "Will you bond with me?" I blinked, unsure if I had heard her correctly. "Bond with you?" "Yes," she said, her voice soft but steady. "In my culture, bonding is the ultimate expression of trust and companionship. It is a union of minds and souls, a connection that transcends time and space. And I would be honored if you would bond with me." I stared at her, my mind racing. This was the last thing I had expected. But as I looked into her eyes, I realized that it was also the thing I wanted most. "Yes," I said, my voice filled with certainty. "I will bond with you." Zynara's smile was radiant, and she reached out to take my hands in hers. As our fingers intertwined, I felt a surge of energy flow between us, a connection that was deeper and more profound than anything I had ever experienced. In that moment, I saw her memories, her hopes, her dreams, and she saw mine. It was as if we had become one, our souls intertwined in a bond that would last for eternity. When the connection faded, I felt a sense of peace and completeness that I had never known before. Zynara looked at me, her eyes shining with love. "Thank you," she whispered, "for trusting me, for choosing me." I smiled, my heart overflowing with joy. "Thank you for showing me the stars.